Alexander Isak looks like he's going to pick this one up in a really, really dangerous position. And I'm just going to strike it, off the bar, my word. Can we get there first? No, we can't. Into Enzo Fernandez. He gives it back to Bruno Guimaraes. He's going to look for Jonathan David. Lovely ball. Jonathan David goes wide. Welcome back to a brand new episode of my Newcastle United career mode on FIFA 23. And it is a career mode with the tightest ever Champions League fight I have ever seen in one of the career modes I've played. 2 points separating the third place team in Manchester City all the way down to 7th placed West Ham, and with 14 games remaining in the season, it could literally go any way whatsoever. Before we get started with any of the matches for this episode though, I do want to kick off the same way I've kicked off the last couple of episodes, and that is focusing on my youth development. Now you'll see at the moment I literally have no one in my youth academy. I've completely neglected it, I have to be honest. However, the last few episodes I have been sending scouts out to England, Brazil and France to see if they can uncover any hidden gems, and it's now time to see whether or not they've been able to. So what I've tried to do is I've tried to go through all of the youth scouting reports and try to find players that have got potential of at least 88. Only those are the types of players that I'm going to consider adding to my youth academy. Now, as you can see, after going through all the different long lists of all the different scouting reports, I've managed to shortlist 10 different players to add to my youth academy, and they range from strikers to central midfielders, mainly focused on defenders, to be completely honest, because a lot of the players that have come through all seem to be defence-minded players. Maybe that's because I was looking for physically strong players. I don't quite know, but there is one player in particular, Guilherme da Silva, who I'm particularly excited about. He's rated 60 already, having only been 16 years of age. He's already 6 foot. He's got 4-star skill moves for a defender, and he's got very high defensive work rate as well. In terms of his stats, pretty much all of them are kind of yellow-orange, and he's even got 1 green for jumping. So his stats already, at the tender age of 16, are already pretty decent. So all of these players, what I'm going to do is, I'm going to keep them all in my youth academy at the moment. As soon as they turn 18, I'll add them to my senior squad, and then once they do that, I'll try and see if I can get them out on loan, and hopefully, in the upcoming seasons, maybe see if they can try and fit their way into my squad, and even get a start here or there. For now, it's back to the football though, and we have loads of games to get through today. We've got 4 in February, and we've got at least 4 in March, including a very, very tricky away tie in the FA Cup to Tottenham Hotspur. But for now, it's time to get started with the very first game of the episode against Nottingham Forest. And I won't lie, what a disappointing way to start this episode. A 1-1 draw to a Nottingham Forest team that are right down the bottom of the Premier League, fighting for survival. St. Maximin gets on the score sheet in the 61st minute, but that is not the result I was looking for. Something crazy just happened. I got an offer for that man, Brennan Johnson, from Chelsea for 91.4 million, and then I went ahead and did something even more crazy. I clearly decided to reject that offer. Now, I brought Brennan Johnson in at the start of Season 1, and I paid just over £10 million for him. Now, when I brought him in, he was rated 75. We are now midway through Season 2, and he has already gone up to 86 overall rating. His status says he's got something special, and in terms of his stats, he's been playing fantastically. 24 games so far this season, 8 goals, 4 assists, and literally, he is now my second best player. Now, I wasn't expecting Brennan Johnson's rating to go this high, and I certainly wasn't expecting to go this high so quickly, but looking at his development plan, he's now got 15 weeks until he's going to go to 87 overall rated, so he's going to soon be the best player at the club, and he is not someone I can afford to sell, even if they come in with ridiculous offers for him. Let me know down in the comments below, has anyone else bought Brennan Johnson for their saves, and has anyone else had him turn into an absolute monster like this? As I said, this is not something I was expecting, but he has been sensational, and he will soon be the best player at the club. For now though, it's back to the football, and as you can see, it is off to Old Trafford for what is going to be a huge game for this episode. Manchester United away, and it's a top-of-the-table Manchester United that we now have to contend with. Now, we played really well against Manchester United the last time we played them, but this is a very different United team. They've now started to create a little gap at the top of the table, and it's something we really need to try and see if we can get a result here. So with that in mind, we have, of course, gone full strength. Nick Pope in goal, Trippier, Tamori, Sven Botman, and Ryan Sessegnon at the back. Pobega, Guimaraes, Enzo Fernandez in the midfield. Brennan Johnson, the man of the hour, I was just talking about, St. Maximin, and Jonathan David, the attacking trio up front. It's Bruno Fernandes here. Nice ball into Cristiano Ronaldo, but he then gives it away to Pobega. Pobega now trying to drive forward. I didn't really want to drive forward too heavily, but Jonathan David strikes from distance. And annoyingly, I thought it was just going to fall to Pobega, but McTominay was on hand to get the ball away. And now it's a really nice flick out wide to Diaby on the right-hand side. Ryan Sessegnon trying to trap back to keep hold of him, but Diaby, nice tricks to get away from him. Diaby now still has it. Goes back in field to Ronaldo. He finds Sancho. Sancho looks for absolutely no one. And Sven Botman says thank you very much. Bruno Guimaraes now into Enzo Fernandez. I'm going to try and look for St. Maximin on the left-hand side. Good ball to him. Can I find Jonathan David? Yes, I can. It's a great ball. De Gea made himself look big. Pobega picks it up. Enzo Fernandez now to try and strike. He's just crowded out. And United just about able to hack that one away. But it's Bruno Guimaraes again. He feeds it into Enzo Fernandez. Turns away from the United midfield. Strikes with his left. And De Gea makes it look easy. Oh, De Gea, what is he doing? Gives it straight to Pobega, and Pobega puts it in the back of the net. I stopped commentating because I didn't think anything was going to happen there. But Pobega intercepted a horrendous throw out from De Gea, and we are gifted an opening goal here at Old Trafford. De Gea, what on earth was he doing? Pobega, the man who scored a goal against United the first time we played them, has done it again. Look at this replay. Where does De Gea think he's going to throw that ball to? I've got no idea. The player on the line couldn't get there. Pobega says thank you very much, and it's 1-0. Jonathan David into Enzo Fernandez. I'm going to try and find St. Maximin. Oh, it's a wonderful ball. Can I play it across? It's a really poor ball back across. I was looking for Jonathan David right across the goal, but instead St. Maximin decided to try and cut it back, and it was not the right option. United now to try and launch a counter-attack. It's Diaby on the right-hand side. Sven Botman trying to chase him down. Diaby does really nicely to get around him. Plays it across the box. It's all too easy. And Manchester United, within the blink of an eye, are back in the game. Ronaldo, the man who has just left United in real life, makes no mistake from 6 yards out. It's 1-1 here, and it's so disappointing. I thought I had it covered. Sven Botman just switched off. I switched off. Made it easy for them, and Ronaldo makes no mistake from there. Oh, De Gea has done it again. Jonathan David strikes, and again, he smashes it into the back of the net. I switched off again. I stopped commentating. I've got to apologise, because again, I didn't think De Gea was going to make the same mistake, but he does once again. Passes the ball out to Jonathan David this time, and he makes no mistake, smashes it into the net. Look at this. What is De Gea doing? Absolutely horrendous goalkeeping, and he doesn't make any sort of attempt to try and save it. Jonathan David makes it look easy, and it's 2-1 here. We are fortuitously back in the lead. Bruno Fernandes goes all the way out wide. It's a nice ball to Diaby on the left-hand side. He tries to find Ronaldo, but Tomori read that one really well, and Tomori able to just shield the ball off of him. Gives it to Nick Pope. Nick Pope now passes it to Sven Botman. Doesn't make the same mistake that David De Gea did. It's Sessegnon now. Goes down the line to St. Maximin. Can he keep this ball in play? Yes, he can. Really nicely done. Shifts it onto his right. Goes for the ball in. And it's a great ball in, but we just couldn't get our head on it. It's Martinez now into McTominay. Diaby gives it straight to Tomori. And now we can try and launch a counter-attack here. Enzo Fernandez into Pobega. Out wide to Brennan Johnson, sorry. Brennan Johnson's got the pace to try and drive into the box. Nice stuff from Brennan Johnson. Tried to float a ball across into St. Maximin. It's off the defender, and it looks like it's going to go out for a United throw. All over the shop at the back, United. Ryan Sessegnon now with the throw. Gives it to St. Maximin. St. Maximin looks for Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez going to try and find a ball to Brennan Johnson, who puts it in the back of the net. It's a lovely, lovely bit of play. Fantastic ball across from Enzo Fernandez. And that man who I talked up so much before the game is on hand to put it in the back of the net from 6 yards out. It's a lovely piece of play. Enzo Fernandez picks the ball up, plays a lovely weighted pass right across the box, and Brennan Johnson makes no mistake. It is United 1, Newcastle United 3. Oh, Sven Botman, that was a very, very nice ball. And Enzo Fernandez now can try and release Jonathan David. Jonathan David's got the pace to get away from the defender. Can he make it 4? Yes, he can. It's a fantastic breakaway. Jonathan David gets his second of the game. We get our 4th. It's absolutely stupendous. Jonathan David's got the pace to get away from the defender, and that is a sensational finish. This time the goalkeeper had absolutely no chance whatsoever. He buries it into the top left-hand corner, and I can't believe I'm saying this, but it's Manchester United 1, Newcastle United 4. And it turns out that was pretty much the last attack of the game. It's game over here, and it is 4-1 Newcastle United at Old Trafford. It won't be that often that I will say that, my word. Absolutely shocking performance from United, shocking performance from De Gea in particular. But I do not mind. That man was sensational today, as was pretty much all of my players. The fans are absolutely delighted. We send them home happy. 4-1 at full time. But football is a cruel, cruel game. We follow up what was a fantastic performance against United with a shocker at home to West Brom. Kieran Trippier getting on the score sheet in the 30th minute, but it wasn't enough. West Brom fight back to beat us 2-1, and from the highs of beating United, now we face the dark lows of losing at home to West Brom. Absolutely shocking. And it's so frustrating because we now find ourselves in 6th position off the back of that loss against West Brom. We are out of even the Europa League places, let alone the Champions League spots, but admittedly we are only 2 points behind Spurs. But had we won that game, we would more than likely be in 3rd now above Chelsea. So it just goes to show every result matters in this run down to the end of the season. For now, though, it is time for us to turn our attention away from the Premier League and to focus on the 5th round of the FA Cup, and in what is going to be an incredibly difficult tie away at Tottenham Hotspur in what looks like a very, very snowy Tottenham Hotspur Stadium. Now, make no mistake, this is a game I am absolutely desperate to win. We had an absolute shocker in both the Carabao Cup and the FA Cup last season. We've had a shocker in the Carabao Cup this season, and this, the FA Cup, is the one and only trophy I genuinely think we have the opportunity to win this season. It's going to be an incredibly tough game against Spurs, but it is one we have to get a result from. And with that in mind, it is, of course, a full-strength team with only one change to my normal starting 11. For any of you eagle-eyed viewers, you may see it is Tino Livramento who comes in at right back in place of the former Spurs man Kieran Trippier, who drops to the bench. 4 minutes in though, and we've got our first opportunity of the game, and it's going to be Brennan Johnson who's going to take a corner here, and hopefully I can deliver this into a decent area. It's a short corner, only goes out to the edge of the 6-yard box, but it's Enzo Fernandez who picks it up. Doesn't really do much with it, but we still manage to keep control of the ball and keep control of possession. It's Sven Botman here now. Turns nicely, gives it to Bruno Guimaraes. He's shifting and turning to Pobega, loses the ball. Fast forward 30 minutes though, and we've got another opportunity from a corner, and it is Brennan Johnson once again who's going to take this one. I'm going to try and see if I can get a little bit more airtime on this corner instead of the last one. That is a lot better. Into the penalty spot. It's a good head. Not good enough, though. It's Enzo Fernandez who wins it, though. Brennan Johnson with a second bite of the cherry. Whips it into the box. Headed away by the Spurs defence. It's Botman who wins it, though. And we still just about have the ball. Tino Livramento looks for Bruno Guimaraes. He tries to get past Lucas Moura. Blocked. Kone here now looks for Pobega in the centre. Goes out wide to the right-hand side to Brennan Johnson. He goes back inside to Kone. Nice play here from us. Bruno Guimaraes goes all the way out wide to the left-hand side to Ryan Sessegnon. He finds St. Maximan. Can I get a ball across? I can. Into the box, sorry. And in the end, we don't manage to get on the end of it. But Bruno Guimaraes does. He picks it up. Gives it to Pobega. Pobega not really going anywhere with it. And I'm just trying to turn, trying to find an angle. He whips it in again. Can we get our head on it? No, we can't. We still manage to get possession. We are holding on for dear life here to try and see if we can fashion an opportunity. It's Livramento now to whip another ball into the box to Brennan Johnson on his head. And it's a fantastic head. Brennan Johnson, the man of the moment, just lifts it over the goalkeeper. A lovely, lovely header. Gives us a 1-goal lead here. Only a few minutes later though, and Spurs look like they've got an opportunity to try and make amends, and it's Pierre-Emile Højbjerg who picks it up on the left-hand side. Goes in field for Richarlison. He finds Lucas Moura. Lucas Moura with the pace to try and go out wide to the right-hand side. Nice turning to get away from Ryan Sessegnon, but Sven Botman was there. 10 minutes later though, and Spurs are turning up the pressure here. It's Højbjerg who once again finds himself out wide on the left-hand side. Cuts back into Harry Kane now, who's not in the box. Slotterbeck with a great challenge. And that is it. The referee blows the whistle. Game over here. And in what was an incredibly important tie for us, we get the result we need. It's a hard-fought 1-0 win here. Eddie Howe salutes and celebrates with the fans. That man, Brennan Johnson, with the only goal of the game. A fantastic looping header. As I said, he's been sensational this season, and he is continuing that form. It ends at full time, 1-0 Newcastle. And it seems like that 1-0 win against Spurs has perked us right back up as we go back to the Premier League, and we beat Norwich 2-1 away to get our Premier League campaign back on track. And with all this talk about the Premier League and the FA Cup, I've actually forgot that we still have the Europa League to play for, and we have been drawn a very, well, interesting tie, a very winnable tie, I would say, in the round of 16 against Hoffenheim. And to be fair, looking at the teams that are actually still in this cup competition, with the exception of maybe Arsenal and AC Milan, I did make the mistake of saying that I thought the FA Cup might be the only piece of silverware that we could get our hands on this season, but maybe I was wrong, as the Europa League could be a fantastic opportunity for us to try and get silverware as well. And if we don't manage to qualify for the Champions League in the league, maybe we can do it through the Europa League. So as this round is across 2 legs, what I'm going to do is I'm going to sim the first leg, see what result we get, and then I'll make a call as to whether or not I need to play the next round depending on what result we get. And it looks like I am going to be playing the second leg. A 3-2 victory away at Hoffenheim. It's a good result, but it's not one I'm confident enough to try and sim the second leg. Goals from Elise, Brennan Johnson and Jonathan David get us the win, but it is going to be a very, very interesting second leg. For now, though, it is back to the FA Cup, and things do not get any easier as we've been drawn against Arsenal in the quarter-finals. And I tell you what, if we are going to get our hands on this FA Cup this season, we are definitely going to have to do it the hard way. Spurs away first, and now Arsenal away in the next round. Another incredibly tricky tie. And with the second leg Europa League tie just round the corner and lots of fatigue in the camp, I have had to make several changes to my starting 11. Nick Pope in goal, Livramento at right back, Slotterback, Tamori in target, the rest of defence. Kone, Guimaraes, Fernandes in midfield, Almiron, Isak and Elise, the attacking trio. And it's 18 minutes in and we've got our first attack of the game, and it is a counter-attacking opportunity that Kone is going to try and release Almiron on this left-hand side. Can he get there first? Yes, he can. I'm not going to be able to take the shot on, but instead I go back in field. Oh, that's not the pass I wanted to make. Enzo Fernandez gets caught up, and we've had to wait until the 29th minute to try and see if we can get a second bite of the cherry here. And it's Kone who finds himself out wide on the right-hand side. Elise gives the ball away, but fortunately for me, gets it back. Where on earth is he going? Absolutely nowhere. Gives it to Guimaraes. Guimaraes now going to try and go all the way out to the left-hand side to Matt Target. Float a first-time ball in. It's a great ball in. And Alexander Isak is there to power it into the back of the net. 29 minutes in. And that man, the much-maligned Alexander Isak, who's fallen out of favour in place of Jonathan David, comes back in and gets a goal just when I need him to. Fantastic finish. And now, only a few minutes later, it's Almiron who's picked this one up. And he's got absolutely acres of space to run into here. Where on earth is the Arsenal defence? Can he get a second? Yes, he can. The goalkeeper tried to take him out, but to no avail. The man who is leaving us in the summer, if that is the last thing he does for this football club, what a brilliant way to go out. It's 2-0 at the Emirates. Alexander Isak looks like he's going to pick this one up in a really, really dangerous position. And I'm just going to strike it, off the bar, my word. Can we get there first? No, we can't. But Arsenal somehow have got a penalty in the 77th minute. And this is a massive, massive moment in the game. Can Nick Pope get the save here? He does. Fantastic save. Smashes the post in the process, but he keeps us in the game. It's Enzo Fernandez who picks this up in central midfield. Slotterbeck finds himself in the Arsenal final third. Don't know what on earth he's doing there. Can he play a nice ball into Almiron? Yes, he can. Across the box. It's absolutely lovely. Enzo Fernandez puts Arsenal in their place. He puts the final nail in the coffin. It's a lovely ball from Almiron after some great work from Slotterbeck. And Enzo Fernandez sends the Newcastle fans into raptures. 3-0. And that is that. The referee blows the whistle. The Newcastle fans are ecstatic. I am absolutely ecstatic. We go through to the semi-final and we make it look easy. A 3-0 win against Arsenal here. Absolutely sensational performance by everyone involved. What a header to kick things off from that man, Alexander Isak. Just when I needed him to score, he steps up and he puts it in the back of the net. It finishes 3-0 here. What a result. And after getting ourselves through to the next round in the FA Cup, it is time to do the same thing in the Europa League against Hoffenheim. We bring into this leg a 3-2 lead in what is going to be a fascinating second leg of this tie. And after that win against Arsenal, I am so confident heading into this game. And could we maybe get our hands on 2 pieces of silverware this season? Time will tell. but we're going to need a massive, massive performance here today in order to do that. And a massive performance needs massive players, and that means I have returned to my usual starting 11. Trippier, Tomori, Botman, Sessegnon at the back, Pobega, Guimaraes, Fernandes in midfield, Saint-Maximin, Brennan Johnson and Jonathan David up front. Sven Botman now goes out wide to Ryan Sessegnon on the left-hand side. Going to try and go down the line to Saint-Maximin. It's a nice ball. Can he find a ball in? He can find a ball in. Saint-Maximin with a great ball in. And it's just off the bar from Jonathan David after the goalkeeper just about managed to get a touch on it. Absolutely sensational way to start this game. We were inches away from giving ourselves the lead here, but Brennan Johnson picks it up again, lays it into the path of Jonathan David, does really nicely. The defender does great as well. He somehow just about managed to keep hold of the ball, and he forces the goalkeeper into a great save here as we look back at the replay of the earlier save. Fantastic work from the goalkeeper to somehow get his hand to that. I don't really know why the goal decision system's being shown here, as it's absolutely miles away from the line. But oh, there we go. I don't know why it doesn't show it earlier at that point, but it's a bit strange. But nonetheless, we somehow find ourselves still at 0-0. It's been a fantastic start from us as Kieran Trippier now is going to take a corner here to try and see if we can unlock this stubborn Hoffenheim defence. It's a great corner, and we almost got on the end of it, but Brennan Johnson picks it up again. Kieran Trippier out wide again, whips a ball in. Can we get our head on it? No, we can't. It falls back out to Brennan Johnson. I'm trying to catch my breath here. I'm commentating so passionately here because I'm so excited by the way we have started this game off. Jonathan David picks it up, goes back into the centre to Pobega. Pobega, though, just trying to find an opportunity here. It's Bruno Guimaraes out wide to Ryan Sessegnon. He picks it up with his left, and it's blocked off. Tomori here now, out to Saint-Maximin. Saint-Maximin to drive down the left-hand side. We're going to look for another ball in. This time it's a good ball, and Pobega just can't get on the end of it. Bruno Guimaraes can, into Enzo Fernandez. He gives it back to Bruno Guimaraes. Going to look for Jonathan David. Lovely ball. Jonathan David goes wide. Kieran Trippier into Pobega. Pobega turns nicely, gives it to Enzo Fernandez. Enzo Fernandez going to look ahead to Jonathan David. Jonathan David goes for the trip, and I went for the chip, sorry, and it was a poor attempt in the end. Sven Botman now. It has literally been all Newcastle in this first half. Hoffenheim not even really able to get into our half as Kieran Trippier picks it up into Pobega. Pobega takes it forward. I'm going to line up a power shot here. Blocks it from the defender. And it's Thuram now who can get it clear finally. But absolutely no one there as Nick Pope comes rushing out. I am loving the absolute press that we are putting on today. It's fantastic stuff as Kieran Trippier looks for Brennan Johnson and gives the ball away. Oh, Kieran Trippier, though, pressing high, just as I said he was. Kieran Trippier into the box, and it's cleared away again from Hoffenheim. We can't seem to break them down as the referee blows his whistle for half-time. Enzo Fernandez now goes out wide to Kieran Trippier as we start off this second half exactly the same way we finished the first. It's Pobega into Jonathan David. He turns nicely, goes into the box. I was trying to line up a power shot, but took too long for it. And Campana now can try and get the ball away. Sessegnon goes infield for Bruno Guimaraes. Bruno Guimaraes finds Pobega, switches it onto his left, goes for the finesse, straight against the goalkeeper. I don't really know what Baumann was doing there. Made a bit of a hash of it, and it goes out for a corner. Kieran Trippier with the resulting corner. Going to whip this one into the penalty spot. It's a great ball, and it's an even better head. And that man, Jonathan David, finally gets the goal he deserves. It is richly deserved by the entire team, to be fair. We've been absolutely sensational in this first 60 minutes. It's 1-0 here, and we give ourselves a very nice 2-goal cushion on aggregate here in this Europa League tie. Kieran Trippier with a wonderful ball in, and Jonathan David made no mistake. A bullet header gave the keeper no chance. It's 1-0. Douglas Luiz now for Hoffenheim. Hoffenheim trying any sort of way to see if they can get the ball in our half, and I'm pretty sure this is the furthest they've been in our half all game. It's taken them 68 minutes, but finally they're able to try and get a cross at least in, and oh my word, they forced Nick Pope into a big save. At least he was alert because I completely fell asleep there, and with their first opportunity of the game, they almost get an equaliser. But Kieran Trippier now to try and escape, lays a nice ball down the channel into the path of Jonathan David. He now drives into the box, looks for a ball across, too much power on it, and they get the ball clear. It's now Kadabek into the path of the striker Thuram. It's Sanset now has it. He tries to get past Tomori. Hoffenheim have stepped things up here. They've waited until they were 1-0 down to do so, but Sven Botman is there to defend really nicely. Bruno Guimaraes out wide to Ryan Sessegnon. Ryan Sessegnon now with space to go forward. Great challenge from the defender. Suddenly, this has turned into a real end-to-end game here, and this is not what I want, to be completely honest. I want this to settle down. A Sunset now, trying to get away from Botman. Out wide to Kov now. I think that's what his name is. But in the end, he blasts it way wide. Ryan Sessegnon into the substitute Manu Kone. He goes to Bruno Guimaraes. Nice ball to Pobega, who drives forward now. The ball to Jonathan David was on, and I was just too slow in playing it to him. That is very frustrating, as it could have been an easy 2-0 there. But Kone picks it up once again. Goes out wide to the left-hand side of St. Maximin. He turns. Nice ball into Ryan Sessegnon. The ball is across. Oh, my word. We just couldn't get on the end of it. It's so poor. Kieran Trippier, though, to whip it in. And he went for an audacious overhead kick there, did Alexander Isak. And now Bruno Guimaraes strikes it against the defender. Pobega now. Eventually they get it clear. But the referee blows the whistle. It's game over here. It's a pretty comfortable 1-0 win in the end. They had a 10-15 minute period where they made it a little bit difficult. But overall, we were well worth our win. 4-2 on aggregate. The Newcastle fans are absolutely ecstatic. I'm ecstatic. It was a brilliant performance, and we go sailing through to the next round. And we're going to finish off this episode with 2 back-to-back sim games, the first of which is a 2-1 win against Leeds United, courtesy of goals from Enzo Fernandez and Bruno Guimaraes. And the second is an absolute 3-0 thumping of Leeds United. Goals from Brennan Johnson, Bruno Guimaraes and Pobega seal a fantastic victory to give us 3 points. And all in all, this may well be the most positive episode in this Newcastle career mode yet. Absolutely fantastic results all round. First and foremost, getting past Hoffenheim 4-2 on aggregate, heading into the quarter-final of the Europa League, who, as you can see, we have been drawn against Ajax in that round. So that is going to be a fantastic tie to play out in the next episode. As for the FA Cup, a 3-0 thumping of Arsenal in the quarterfinals get us through to the semi-final, where we will face an incredibly tricky tie against a very, very good Manchester United team, who we have, however, beaten twice in the Premier League. And speaking of the Premier League, we find ourselves 5th in the Premier League table. We are outside the Champions League spots. However, we are only 2 points away from Liverpool, 3 points away from Chelsea, with a game in hand on Liverpool. So we can, once we win, fingers crossed we win that game, hopefully claw our way above Liverpool and back into those Champions League spots. So what a fantastic episode it has been. Thank you everyone so much for watching. I hope you have enjoyed it. If you have, please feel free to subscribe and leave a like and a comment down below. And hopefully, I'll see you again next time.